Hello, my most amazing art students. Today we're going to be creating the background for our snowman landscape, okay? And the first thing I want you guys to do is take your blue crayon and draw a snowbank across the bottom of your paper. Just kind of nice and easy, just like that, just so we have a reference point of where we want that to be. The next thing that we're going to do is a little bit tricky because, actually let's start with the yellow. We're going to do stars and a moon, just like similar to what Vincent van Gogh did in his. So we're just going to draw a crescent shape and color that in. Now, we want to color these in nice and solidly because we're going to be doing an over painting of blue. So we want wherever we color with crayon to resist that. All right. And we'll add in stars. So we're going to do circles, and I'll show you why. Because we're doing an impressionistic, because that's what Starry Night is. He's an impressionistic painter, Van Gogh. He wasn't at first. He didn't start out that way. We're going to add some trees over here, so we don't need a ton. And I'm leaving a little bit of space so that I can do that swirly wind. It's up to you how many stars you want to add in, okay? So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white crayon and I'm going to color around that yellow circle, okay? You won't be able to see it, but at least you have a reference point there. And this will give that glow look. Same thing with our moon. All right. Go around, and then I'm going to take the yellow and just do dashed lines around kind of where I think the white goes to. And again, this is just a guessing game. This is not scientific at all. Okay. It's okay if it looks not perfect, because that's the thing. Remember, Impressionism, for my third graders, we talked about it. Impressionism is giving the impression of the scene. We're going to do the same thing with our orange crayon. Kind of look like eggs right now, huh? Going all the way around, here, around on our moon. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to go back to my white and just add white dashes just to highlight that. Again, I can't even see these, so they could be willy-nilly. It's all right. It's all good, you guys. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is with my light blue crayon, I'm going to create a swirl here of wind, and I might create another one going this way. There you go. You guys, wherever on your paper you can find one to do one, go ahead and do that. And then after I draw that, I'm going to go with my light blue crayon and I'm going to create those dashed marks. You know, when Van Gogh painted, he used his paintbrush and put little bits of, or piles, I guess, of paint onto the canvas. His painting, it was very thick think it's called Impasto or something, where his paintings were very textural, like you could see the textures coming off his painting. Well, ours is still two-dimensional. We're not using paint. We can still give visual texture to our drawing by adding marks that show texture, kind of like how you would do fur on an animal or something, right? Or spikiness. Learn about texture. I think in the first grade we talk a lot about it. Okay. So now we have that first layer down. I'm going to go in with my yellow and go around that. I just want to give the sky the highlights of that. We don't have to do as much yellow. The highlights of that starlight and moonlight on this wind-blown night for our snowman. Maybe this is how Frosty's hat blew off his head. And I'm going to go with my dark blue now and just go around that as well. And after we're done with all of this, I'm going to show you the last, after we do the swirls, we're going to do horizontal lines and kind of fill in our gaps. So if you need to pause the video so that you can finish yours up, that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and go white around this. Just to give another highlight. Oops, I just went around the star. That's alright. No big deal. Did I already do this? I don't even remember. Okay, so now we have this area, and I'm actually going to do my trees before I finish up. So I have kind of an interesting way for you guys to do. I'm just going to do some trunks of trees, so I have a height that I want these to be first. And then from there, I'm going to do swooping lines, like curving up a little bit as I go down. There's a different way that I do trees, but I think this will be kind of easier. You can press, make sure you don't really have a, so you can make lots of them and then fill it in to make them wider at the bottom. So you see how it's curving outward? If you find it easier to turn your paper upside down and do like feathering from your tree trunk this way, you can do that. Sometimes that direction is a little bit easier. You decide. You decide what works for you. And the reason I'm doing my trees first is because I don't want to color my marks behind my trees. I want it nice and solid up against where the trunk area was. The other way that I do trees is a little bit trickier. I teach my high schoolers that way, and it can be kind of harder to master. And I feel like this works just as well. Just, you gotta flick, like maybe as if you're gonna do a circle, but you're not doing a circle all the way around. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? I don't know, because I can't talk to anyone. I'm turning loony. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing that I want to put another star over here, just because there's nothing going on over here. And then I colored around it with my white. Then I used light yellow again. And then I did orange. And then I think I went around it with white one more time. Okay, so now what we want, we have this open space, and I want to go in with and go horizontally and do these marks. Make sure you're not drawing long lines. We're just doing little skip marks, and we can go in with both dark and light blue and even white, okay? So don't fill all of it in with just one color. We want to mix it up, okay? And also don't do that flippy thing like we did with the trees with our marks. We want our marks to be horizontal, okay? Not circular, flipped, or anything like that. I'm just going with this crayon first, and then I'm going to go back with my other two colors and kind of fill in where I don't have any of this color. Alright, so now I'm going to take my light blue, fill in there. Alright, getting there. And I'm just going to do a few white dots just to fill in the last little bit. Okay. I don't even know, like maybe if you see a big gap. Oh, you know what I'm seeing here is I want to kind of add some more in behind the trees because alright, so now we're ready. Oh, look, I missed a whole spot and you guys didn't even tell me. Can't believe you. Alright, now we're ready for paint. So what I'm going to do, we have to be careful not to paint down on this area. Alright, we're only going to paint the top with blue. So we're going to mix up our blue paint and we're going to go quickly. And the nice thing about the crayon is it resists where you paint, so it won't go over that line. I'm going to pull that paint away from the edge and over into my trees. Look at how amazing that looks, you guys. Who knew you could do such awesome stuff with just crayons and watercolor? Alright. So, that's our background. And next week, we're going to create and finish. We have to let this dry. So, next week, we're going to do our snowman. And we're going to put them both together. How awesome. Loving it. Have a wonderful day. I can't wait to see your creations next week.